a champion. Many aspire, but few achieve. Since 1973, the Hawkeye Wrestling Club has been the training grounds for world and Olympic champions. Dan Gable, Royce Alger, Randy Lewis, Ed and Lou Bonnack, Barry Davis, Lincoln McElravy, Joe Williams, Tom and Terry Brands. We may not come from the biggest city, but our history speaks for itself.
As a competitor, I wrestled in the Hawkeye Wrestling Club my entire international career. Royce Alger was in that club, even though he was still in his undergrad work when I first came. But you know, being able to be around him and the way that he trained and the way that he approached the sport of wrestling, it was a great mentorship.
Getting into my collegiate career, the Hawkeye Wrestling Club gave me opportunities to wrestle internationally. My first year here, making a U20 team and going to Germany. First time I ever was out of the country was because of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club, and that was just the start of it.
If you plan to do anything outside of college, once you graduate, if you have international aspirations, the Hawkeye Wrestling Club is your heart. Without the Hawkeye Wrestling Club, I think a lot of our athletes would do other things and not be able to compete on a high level like we are today.
I remember a story where I was working at camp with Royce Alger, and I remember I was at the train station. I got this call from Tom Brands. We got the club humming and rolling how we want it to go, and you need to stay right here. It was an easy phone call to make to say, hey, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not ready to pursue my coaching dream. I still have aspirations to compete.
The Hawkeye Wrestling Club's purpose is to provide resources for post-collegiate athletes to train full-time. These athletes dedicate their lives to becoming champions, and the Hawkeye Wrestling Club is where the champions are crafted.
Our club is very unique in the sense that it was the start of any kind of a club system in the sport of wrestling in America. And it was at a time when you were starting to see changes in college athletics.
When you're not changing and you're not making adjustments and you don't have things that are cutting edge, you fall behind. And the thing about the University of Iowa and Iowa wrestling in particular is cutting edge. And the Hawkeye Wrestling Club is a huge part of sharpening that tool when you talk about Iowa wrestling and a product.
You know, when our guys are going through workouts, we have individual focuses and plans and areas that our guys need to work. And it kind of just revolves around that every day and addressing the areas and positions that we need to get better in.
Winning is important, and that's understood because we are made up of guys that have been in this program for many years.
With the relentless pursuit of excellence, Iowa wrestling has a reputation and tradition unlike any other.
I think the Hawkeye Wrestling Club is definitely a different breed. I mean, you've got coaches Tom and Terry Brands. I mean, you've got a lot of the athletes, but I think the more important thing is you have the fans and the support. I think that is one of the things that really, really drives the Hawkeye Wrestling Club, is that our fans understand and know what wrestling means in the state of Iowa.
The Hawkeye Wrestling Club has played a vital role in not only our athletes' quest to become world and Olympic champions, but also the continued success of the Iowa wrestling program. 24 national titles, 37 Big Ten titles, 55 NCAA champions. Wrestling lives in Iowa City.
Supporting our club financially is important because when we recruit, we talk about winning world, Olympic, and national championships. It's not just about being an All-American or a national champion. Your funds are the means for us to be able to uphold our commitment when we are recruiting these young athletes, that we are about what they're about.
The Hawkeye Wrestling Club needs the support from our fans to continue this journey that we're all on for our pursuit for world and Olympic gold medals. And that's where every penny coming into our program is a direct result and a direct benefit towards that goal.
Join a passionate community of Hawkeye Wrestling supporters. Grow the next champion. Join the Inner Circle.